What's going on? It's Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. They're redoing a lot of these streets. One thing I noticed about New York, it's a lot of love in the club. It's a lot of early morning love, a lot of late night love, a lot of love in this club, you know what I'm saying? But in addition to that, shout out to the bag chasers. Last night I did a Patreon meetup here in New York, which is one of the reasons why we're here, so that I can make sure that I can network effectively, add as much value as I possibly can. So essentially we were networking till like 2 in the morning plus. We went out, we even got something to eat late night. And we spent what? 5 to 7 hours? 7 hours? Kicking it with the people. Rita want to believe that they filmed Law and Order SVU down that street down there. I'm not going for it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it was awesome. And being here, no car, all of the things that we got to do in like 3 days, since I've been here since Thursday, and we're on our way to the airport now, it's made me reevaluate some things. Just being in New York specifically. And so yesterday I dropped a video on my regular channel that was asking would I live here for 3 months at least, because the goal is not to be in any one place past 6 months, 3 to 6 months, and then to make the transition, no matter what it is that we're doing, to make the transition to a different place, because you want to experience different cultures and climate and all of that, right? And in order to be able to do that, part of that is waiting for my daughter to grow up and get to a certain point in her life and things like that. In order to be able to do that, you got to start making the transition now. You got to start planning now. Investments as far as like maintenance of certain properties and different things, right? One of the reasons, or one of the things that we're doing in the Bag Chasers group is we're doing build a business, right? I'm putting up a bunch of money, over $100,000, to show them what it takes in order to be able to build a business. It's awesome. If y'all not a part of the Patreon, make sure you tap in. Link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Make sure you guys tap in with a group of people that's going in the direction that you want to go in, right? But one of the things that I made a decision about is for that particular business not even to be in the state that I currently live in, because I don't want to be intimately involved with things that I cannot, or that I would have to be there for. Forces you to solve for things looking at it differently, because my lifestyle and the direction that I'm going in, everything has to be conducive to the lifestyle from now on. It can't be conducive to the business, it has to be conducive to the lifestyle, and so I have to pivot around that. But New York, in a general sense, is forcing me to rethink how I go about doing things. Lifestyle mainly, right? And it's always good to get out of your comfort zone. And one of the things I was telling the bag chasers, a lot of the bag chasers last night, is that all homeless people? Yeah. It's a long line. Yeah, probably. That's pretty crazy, bro. Line go long than a mug. Anyways, I'm not here to judge. It's homelessness everywhere. It's much more of it here because it's over 8 million people, but it's definitely everywhere. But it forces you, getting out of your comfort zone and going to other cultures and stuff, forces you to question and reevaluate your lifestyle, right? Because what it then would tell you is, hey, what can't you adopt or what should you adopt if you're trying to live a completely different lifestyle, or in order to make sure that it's more conducive to where it is that you're trying to go? Or are you utilizing your resources as effectively as possible? So now, as usual, I look at it and I say, yo, I got a whole lot of cars that I'm not even necessarily driving. I know that the majority of it is expense related because it closely aligns with my business and what it is that I do for a living. And I got a personal vehicle and all of that. But how many, living in New York, I don't even need a car. I'm not sure that I would own a car if I lived here full time. What is the point of doing it? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you really need a car? I just found out that my flight is delayed for 3 hours, so I'm not necessarily happy about that at all. I'm never happy about that because I plan my entire day around, or I plan my flight around what my schedule is, but it is what it is. You pivot, you make adjustments. You don't trip too much. But that's just an opportunity for me to get more work done. I'm on a train on my way up to Newark, New Jersey. One of the reasons why I booked going out of Newark, New Jersey is just seems to have less delays than LaGuardia and JFK and a better experience, but apparently that's not necessarily the case. Anyways, living here, again, even taking a train instead of taking a car or renting a car or whatever, and I was talking to a lot of the different bag chasers. A lot of them was driving and had rental cars and things like that, but it was just more convenient than living a particular lifestyle, right? But again, being here just in New York in a general sense, it's forcing me to reevaluate some things, right? Like where I'm expensing things. Is it always better to have a car because it's kind of just inconvenient, and I don't really like driving in the first place. The other part, for example, is space. I think I've done a pretty good job of embracing a particular lifestyle and reducing my footprint because you don't need a whole lot of space. It's only me, Rita, and Leslie. So again, the thing that I've always leaned into and that I'll continue to lean into is the idea that I don't need a lot of space when it comes to being able to support a particular lifestyle. I'd rather focus more on that than focus on having the most space possible. One of the things that Rita and I had recently started discussing is whether or not we wanted to buy a mansion. I'm just gonna be real with you. I'm not here to make you feel better. I'm here to stunt hard and to tell you exactly what it is that's going on in my life. We was evaluating whether or not we should buy a mansion. Well, how should that make sense? We've largely avoided that our entire life. And just because we're starting to spend money now does not mean that we should start spending it outside of what our long-term goal is. And then being in New York actually reinforced what we've been embracing our entire life. We largely looked at other people that had this extraordinary amount of space and we was like, we don't understand it because it's only two of them. Whatever, just because you can afford it doesn't necessarily mean that you should do it. But I'd rather spend that same amount of money, if that's what you're budgeting for, on something that's actually conducive to your lifestyle. And we've largely done that, right? And it's a lot of other things that reminded, reinforced, or is forcing me to look at things a little bit differently when it comes to how we're doing things and the lifestyle that we live in and how we can do things more effectively, even from a business perspective. I met a couple different really great people from a business perspective as far as networking up here, and I'm not even just talking about the bag chasers. I've actually convinced them to become a part of the bag chasers to add value to my group. And the bag chasers consist of a lot of different people, right? I got Asian people in there, I got software engineers, real estate developers. It's so many different types of people, white people, Hispanic, Latino, all of that, right? And it's been some great experiences having conversations with them. But they've helped me to see some things from a business perspective that I can embrace and grow in. And one of the things I've always done is, even though I've created this group, or even though I'm the focal point of, bringing people together in a lot of these locations, I sat there and I learned a lot from different people, even though, there was a connection opportunity for all of us, or for them to come to me. I learned a lot from other people that was pouring into me and giving me game. So yeah, man, I'm always looking at things from a business perspective. I'm always a student and humble enough to learn some things that I wouldn't normally know had it not been for being around people that's outside of your comfort zone. Get outside of your comfort zone. Sometimes the city is too big to hold you, or you're too big to be in the city that you're in, and you need to travel, you need to get out in certain spaces, and you need to be embracing a different type of lifestyle, because you know, being a big fish in a small pond often at times limits what you can and can't do, because you're satisfied just being in that particular space that you're in. So be careful. Also embrace all of the great things that come along with being a bag chaser, if you are one. If you're not, then you need to make sure you tap in. And then more importantly, also, if you need to kick it with me personally, email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com. We're going to get that popping, and I'm going to ensure that you are super successful in every aspect of your life. All right? I love you. I appreciate you. Looks like I can get a lot of work done at the airport since I got to be there for an extended period of time. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace.